Yeah, I mean, stupid songs, stupid dances, Tootsie Roll, Butterfly, Humpty Dance. Like, we had some stupid songs. And we had a lot of one-hit wonders too. We can go down to one-hit wonders. The difference between that time and this time is that one-hit wonder didn't make the cover of Vibe, and that one-hit wonder was not the face. As popular as Vanilla Ice was not seen to America as the face of hip hop. He was just seen as a clown, to be honest. And same thing, MC Hammer. Same thing. He was not seen as the face of hip hop. Our face of hip hop in 1994 was Biggie and Tupac. That was our face of hip hop. So that's number one. Number two, when I signed to, or when Little Brother signed to Atlantic, they tried to, let's talk about my brother said right here. They wanted to make us change our name. The name of our album was The Minstrel Show, and Atlantic wanted us to change our name, change the name of the album. And they was like, ooh, y'all sure y'all want to do that? You sure you want to call your album The Minstrel Show? And it was like, yeah, we want to call it The Minstrel Show. And originally, we was going to be on front in blackface. That's originally what we were supposed to be. And they said, oh, you can't do that. But funny thing about it is, 2 offices down from us, they was giving, I'm not going to say the rapper's name, they was giving him media training because he hardly couldn't read. There's another case of, there's another case, I don't even stay on this too long because you say industry rule was the 4080, right. There's another case you have to understand too, and I'm talking about this brother because I know him. Jay-Z, you think Jay-Z is the president of Def Jam. When he was the president of Def Jam, you must understand there's about 10 people on top of Jay-Z that you don't even get to see. You have to understand that the way they think, whoever, I'm not gonna put it all on one color, but whoever's running the 10 people on top of Jay-Z, they look at it this way. The radios look at it this way. You know what? I own this radio station. I'm gonna make a black dude a program director because the way they look at it is, I don't talk to niggas. I make sure you talk to niggas because I don't understand it. That's when they put like Jay-Z and heads of labels like that. It's like, you know what? I don't deal with niggas. I sit on my island and I make money and you go deal with niggas. I don't deal with niggas. Literally. This is exactly what's happening. And what happened when we got to this point, to that point, it's the same thing that happened when they found out, when the slave masters found out that we were singing to each other to run. When they found out we were singing the spirituals to run to the north, they found out that we were putting messages in our songs. In 1988 to 1993, black college enrollment went up 47%. And that was because of the music. That was because of, I didn't know about, only 4 black people I knew about was Harriet Tubman, Martin Luther King, were 5, George Washington Carver, Booker T. Washington, and maybe Malcolm X, depending on what school you went to. I knew about Carver because my mom went to Carver High School. Okay, so, my mom went to Carver High School. So, but it was Public Enemy that told me about Carter G. Woodson, Fannie Lou Hamer, Madam C.J. Walker. That's how I learned about, and just like the COINTELPRO, bro, listen, you might turn that camera off. Just like COINTELPRO came in the 60s and dropped crack in our neighborhoods, it's the same way when they say, you know what, niggas are getting too smart. That's right. And we have to implement something here that is gonna deter them off, because too many of them are going to school. This guy Spike Lee is making too much money off these movies. Let's put something in the atmosphere that these black people get a hold of and just turn them apart. Gangster rap.
The angry one's up again. Here's how I look at it. You know, everybody talks about how things are not the same, this and that. It's evolution, things change. You know, when hip hop first started, you know, people were rhyming over other people's beats and they weren't even making their own beats. And the first produced rap album was stolen. All the rhymes were stolen. And it was all about money. That's all it was. And Grandmaster Caz, Kool Herc, who was here a couple years ago, they are still complaining about it, still bitching about that they never got what they wanted. And everybody's talking about Wu-Tang, this and that. You know, cash rules everything around me. It's all about money. It's all about money. And the reason hip-hop was so amazing to all of us is because we were young, we were youthful. Anybody in their 30s who listened to 90s hip-hop, it was amazing. It was something new, it was something refreshing. You know, but at the same time, during this, you had the rave scene, you had the dance scene, you had all this other scene, all this great stuff coming from us. The youth was changing everything. And it was coming out of a time period in the 80s where it was so much different than when we grew up. You know, we're all part of the generation where all of our parents were hippies. And it was during a generation that we were all raised from like kind of more of a free-spirited way, I think. You know, during like Woodstock and stuff like that, you know, your family was listening to Hendrix and Sly and Family Stone and the Beatles and all this stuff. And half of you guys don't even know who they are. How many people here have actually really touched a real record? How about that? How many people here have actually dug for a real record? You looked at me like I said, what? You know, a lot of people haven't. You know, a lot of people only know about iPods and CDs. You know, they only know about tapes. You know, there's something soulful about being able to go to a record store and look for it instead of going on YouTube and this stuff. There's nothing warm about that, or nothing, you know, it just doesn't make sense. You know, during that time period when hip hop, it has changed, it is because it's so accessible now and it's so much different, it's so much faster, and technology is taking control of everything. You know, I don't know, people look at me, they go, you still have turntables? I have turntables, you know what I mean? You want me to put some goofy controller? Check. Dying on me.
Is the battery?